It doesn't get better. It doesn't go away. I apologize in advance for this post's length. I have found it therapeutic to read others' stories on here and thought it could be beneficial for me to contribute and finally write out my story. We met when I was 21 and she was 18. We both had traumatic childhoods and clicked immediately. We went in head first and spent every moment together possible. She was the answer to my problems as I was to hers. After about 6 months, seemingly out of nowhere, the first cheating event occurred. She wasn't answering any calls or texts, and I stopped by her apartment. She wasn't home. At 3 in the morning, I get a text from her saying we were through. I was confused and angry. The next day her roommate called me to tell me that they were at a party the previous night and she thought I should know that my girlfriend cheated on me with one of the guests. Again, I was confused and angry, but I carried on. 2 months later she shows up at my apartment and tearfully apologizes for breaking up with me and begs me to reconcile. I was so weak I didn't even confront her about that night. Honestly, I was elated that she wanted me back. I rationalized that it was her past trauma that led her to see what else was out there, and now she was making a heartfelt decision to choose me. Of course, my friends were less than thrilled, and began giving me more details, that the guy she left me for used and then discarded her, which is why she was on my doorstep. I didn't want to hear it, but the resentment started to build. I ignored it. I accepted her with open arms, and we decided that the best decision we could make was to have a baby. Yes, I know. We get pregnant about a month after being back together, and make another great decision: let's get married. Things are as good as they can be when you are young, poor, and apparently not smart. When our baby is 3 months old, I notice something between us is not right. I start snooping as she's starting to hang out with friends from work more often and later into the night. I find what I knew I would. She was meeting an old ex all of those times. I confront her, and she tearfully explains that it wasn't as bad as I thought, that they were hanging out as old friends, but they did kiss one of those nights. Even though I knew that was a lie, I accepted it. I couldn't imagine what this would do to our baby. I thought I was making a noble choice. The resentment built. We move away, start fresh. 2 years later, she starts hanging out with friends from work more often and later into the night. We worked at the same place, and I was acquainted with these friends, and I told myself it was different this time. I pushed aside what I knew to be true. After about a month of this, I couldn't take it anymore and I put my sleuthing skills to the test. I found what I knew I would. She had her friend buy her plan B. She was actively dating one of these friends. Someone whose desk was mere feet from mine. I confronted her. She said I haven't paid any attention to her in some time, and she wanted to get a divorce. Again, I thought that we were too poor, and this would destroy our child. I researched how to cheaply get divorced. I was too ashamed to tell my family I'd lost all my friends what was happening. A month passes, and she tearfully tells me she's sorry and if I could just forgive her, it would be okay. We'd be stronger because of it. She made it a point to have me share the blame for her actions. I did. I actually convinced myself that I was to blame. My actions led to this. The resentment built. We move away, start fresh. We had 2 more kids. Life was hard, but steadily I was moving along nicely in my career, and life improved. Anytime I would show distress about her going anywhere without me, she would state that I needed to work on my trust issues. She would routinely withdraw, and I would be gripped by fear and start doing everything and anything she wanted. I ignored all physiological signs that I was in distress. That I had lost myself. I took on every responsibility imaginable. I martyred myself. The resentment built. 5 years ago, we finally had the funds motivation to attend couples therapy. We never made it to the point of talking about the affairs as I would say I'm past it and let's work on other issues. Therapists never knew that this had even happened. However, overall life kept improving. We bought a house 3 years ago. I've hit career goals that I never actually believed would happen. I make enough now that she's been able to quit her job and homeschool our kids. I still take on every other responsibility imaginable. I still martyr myself. The resentment continues to build. 2 weeks ago, we are at our friend's birthday party. We have just had our 16th wedding anniversary. The party started at 5, and at 2 in the morning I'm ready to go. I'm sober as I'm always the driver. She doesn't want to go. Says she'll Uber home. Go on without her. I can't. My anxiety won't let me. So I sit there visibly in distress. We leave at 4 a.m. I get an earful about how I ruined the night and why can't I just trust her. When will she not be that 23-year-old girl anymore? I quickly start the usual apologizing and try and deflect from the issue, stating that I wasn't upset. To be honest, though, she's got a point. She will always be that girl to me. She will always be the one who cheated on me multiple times. The one who had an affair with someone I worked in close physical proximity with, and I had to continue that for another year, losing myself more every day. I get manic when I'm alone and start poring through our devices. Sometimes looking through our file cabinet, going through old tax documents for some trace of infidelity. I've been trying secretly for a year to recover her old email address access so I can reread those messages I found so long ago. I've come to realize that I am codependent. Fear avoidant. Probably the rest of you figured that out in paragraph 1. It's been enlightening. I've finally got some individual therapy scheduled. If I'm honest, though, I can never trust her again. I haven't since that first time. I've got 17 years of resentment that will never go away. I wouldn't trade my kids for anything, and I have a hard time reconciling that. I didn't leave when I should have. I let myself be taken advantage of. I know this was a long read, and thank you to all who made it this far. If anything, I hope this helps someone who may be in the situation I was 17 years ago. It doesn't get better. It doesn't go away. I've got 17 years of resentment that will never go away. The one word you did not bring up was divorce. Are you planning that? If I'm honest, though, I can never trust her again. That is correct, you will never trust her again. Even after 16 years she wanted to stay and party late into the morning. My guess is she was eyeing someone at the party. She has shown you repeatedly she does not honor marriage vows. She came back to you as the stable plan B, providing the home and income. Your kids will and do pick up on any tension or dysfunction between you two. They have a front row seat. One of you raises your voice and they are all ears. Staying together just for the kids is never the right answer. They will do just fine in two separate homes, or you can look at nesting in your home. When you are with them for your time, you will have more energy and attention to give them, and they will love you for it. When your time to be away from them, you can work on yourself, pursue your hobbies, or schooling, or time with family and friends. Don't let the resentment continue to build. This is not good for your mental health and not good for your kids. Update team.